Do you actually show your cat you love them every single day? You probably think you do. You feed them, you pet them, you buy them toys. Maybe you even let them sleep on your bed. But here's the strange part nobody talks about. Most cats don't experience love the way humans think they do. In fact, some of the things owners do every single day believing they're showing affection can quietly make their cat feel stressed, overstimulated, or emotionally distant instead. And the scary part? Cats usually won't make it obvious. They don't argue. They don't complain. They simply start changing their behavior around you, sleeping farther away, avoiding touch, leaving rooms more often, becoming quieter. But when you start doing these 10 things consistently, something fascinating happens. Your cat slowly starts acting different around you, closer, calmer, more trusting, sometimes more affectionate than you thought possible. And the first thing your cat notices has nothing to do with petting them at all. The first thing is controlling your energy around your cat. Most people completely underestimate how intense humans feel from a cat's perspective. Fast footsteps, sudden movements, loud voices, quick grabbing, slamming doors. To us, it feels normal. To a cat, it feels unpredictable. And cats are obsessed with predictability. That's why some cats immediately relax around certain people while avoiding others. Not because one person loves them more, because one person feels emotionally safer. Cats constantly study patterns, the way you enter a room, the way you react to noise, the way you move around furniture, the tone in your voice. Your cat is basically building a psychological profile of you every single day. And over time, they decide whether your presence feels calm or stressful. What most people don't realize is that cats often bond strongest with people who move gently and predictably around them. And this is where it gets interesting. Some cats slowly begin following calm owners from room to room without the owner even realizing why. The second thing is talking to your cat in a soft, affectionate voice. And yes, your cat absolutely notices the difference. In 2022, researchers from Université Paris-Nanterre found that cats reacted much more strongly when their owners used a gentle, cat-directed tone compared to a normal adult-speaking voice. The cats were more attentive, more responsive, and more likely to react when spoken to in that softer emotional tone, which means your cat may care less about the actual words and far more about how you say them. That little voice people naturally use with cats, the one people feel embarrassed using in public, your cat probably loves it. So throughout the day, talk to them. When they enter the room, when they stretch beside you, when they jump onto the couch, not because they understand human language perfectly, but because they recognize emotional consistency in your voice. And here's the weird part. Some cats ignore regular conversation completely, but instantly react the second they hear their owner's cat voice. Now, the third thing most cat owners never realize is how important choice is to cats. Cats value control more than most animals, which means constantly forcing interaction can slowly damage trust without owners noticing. A lot of people immediately reach for their cat every single time they walk by. Petting, picking up, holding, touching constantly. It feels loving. But imagine if someone touched you every single time you entered a room. Eventually, it becomes mentally exhausting. And this is exactly why many cats become deeply attached to people who don't pressure them for attention. Sometimes the strongest thing you can do is absolutely nothing. Sit nearby. Relax. Let your cat decide what happens next. No forcing interaction, no chasing affection, no demanding cuddles. And once cats realize they have control, something fascinating happens. Most of them actually begin approaching more often, not less, because now interaction feels emotionally safe instead of unavoidable. But the fourth thing completely changes how your cat experiences touch. The fourth thing is letting your cat sniff your hand before petting them. Almost nobody consistently does this, but for cats, scent comes before everything, before touch, before visual recognition, before almost anything else. Friendly cats naturally greet each other nose first. They gather information before physical contact happens. Humans skip that step constantly. We just reach down and touch immediately, and from a cat's perspective, that can feel abrupt. Instead, hold out one finger calmly a few inches away. Wait for your cat to approach. Let them sniff first. And if they rub their face against your hand afterward, that's your cat essentially saying, "Okay, I'm comfortable." That tiny pause changes the entire emotional tone of the interaction. You stop becoming someone who invades their space and become someone who asks permission first. And cats notice that difference immediately. But the fifth thing is where your cat's instincts take over completely. The fifth thing is playing with your cat like real prey instead of like a human, waving a toy around. This is where many owners accidentally bore their cats without realizing it. Have you ever dangled a toy in front of your cat and they just stared at you like you were embarrassing yourself? That's usually not laziness. That's boredom. Cats are biologically designed to stalk, chase, pounce, and catch. That hunting sequence matters emotionally and mentally. But when toys move in repetitive, unrealistic ways, your cat's brain never fully engages. The trick is making the toy feel alive. Small movements, tiny pauses, sudden bursts, disappearing behind corners, moving away from your cat instead of directly toward them. That's what activates instinct. And once that instinct activates, you'll notice your cat completely change. Their pupils widen, their body lowers, their focus sharpens, and after successful play sessions, many cats become visibly calmer and more affectionate because mentally they just completed a satisfying hunt. What most people don't realize is that boredom quietly changes cat behavior over time. Some cats become distant, others become destructive, others overeat or sleep constantly. But even 10 minutes of realistic play every day can completely shift their mood and bonding behavior. Now, the sixth thing sounds almost too simple to matter, but it's incredibly powerful. The sixth thing is simply sitting near your cat without trying to interact with them at all. No touching, no talking, no calling them over, just peacefully existing nearby, because this is how cats naturally bond with each other. Quiet proximity, not constant attention, not non-stop physical contact. And patient owners often notice something surprising over time. Their cat slowly starts moving closer and closer on their own, first across the room, then the same couch, then beside their legs, then eventually pressed directly against them. Not because affection was forced, because the cat decided your presence feels safe. And for a cat, that decision means everything. But the seventh thing is where many loving owners accidentally damage trust without realizing it. The seventh thing is interrupting your cat's sleep too often. Your cat looks adorable sleeping peacefully, so naturally you want to touch them, pick them up, move them, kiss them. But sleep is one of the most vulnerable states any animal experiences. Cats only enter deep sleep where they genuinely feel secure, which means repeatedly interrupting sleep slowly changes how safe certain places feel to them, and cats remember that. That's why some cats eventually start sleeping in closets, under beds, or on high shelves where nobody bothers them, not because they suddenly dislike you, because they learned their rest gets interrupted less there. Sometimes love looks like simply walking past your sleeping cat and letting them stay completely undisturbed. And yes, cats absolutely notice who respects their rest. Now, the eighth thing changes how your cat sees you emotionally. The eighth thing is learning your cat's real body language, because cats are communicating with you constantly. Most owners just miss the signals. People assume purring always means happiness. Not always. Cats can also purr when stressed, nervous, or trying to comfort themselves. A twitching tail can mean irritation. Flattened ears can signal discomfort. Wide eyes can signal overstimulation. And exposing the belly is not always permission for belly rubs. Cats communicate through tiny details: whiskers, ear angles, posture, tail movement, eye shape. And when owners start responding correctly to those signals, many cats become noticeably more socially confident over time because suddenly they feel understood. And this is where it gets fascinating. When your cat slowly turns their back towards you and relaxes nearby, that's actually a huge sign of trust. In the animal world, turning your back on someone vulnerable means you don't expect danger. That's an enormous compliment coming from a cat. But the ninth thing is what makes cats feel emotionally secure long term. The ninth thing is building comforting routines with your cat every single day. Cats love predictability far more than most people realize. Feeding around the same time, playing around the same time, greeting them consistently, even bedtime routines matter. Some cats wait outside the bathroom every morning. Some sit near the door before owners come home. Some appear in the kitchen minutes before feeding time every single day. Those patterns are not random. Cats build emotional security through repetition. And over time, your cat begins emotionally attaching themselves to those routines with you. That's when owners suddenly notice things like, my cat follows me every night now. My cat waits for me every morning. My cat suddenly sleeps beside me. But those changes usually didn't happen overnight. They were built slowly through hundreds of tiny, consistent interactions repeated every day, and the 10th thing is probably the biggest mistake most cat owners make without realizing it. The 10th thing is trying to love your cat the same way you would love a dog. This changes how people understand cats forever. Dogs often show affection loudly, excited greetings, constant attention, big emotional reactions. Cats usually don't. Cat affection is quieter, more selective, more subtle. But honestly, that's what makes it so meaningful. When a cat chooses to trust you, those tiny behaviors suddenly become incredibly important. Following you into another room, sleeping nearby, sitting beside you for no reason, greeting you quietly at the door, relaxing with their back turned towards you. Those are not random habits. Those are trust behaviors. And trust is one of the deepest forms of love a cat can give. That's why bonding with cats isn't really about overwhelming them with affection. It's about creating emotional safety every single day through calmness, patience, consistency, respect, observation. And once you understand that, something strange starts happening. Your cat slowly begins acting different around you, closer, calmer, more emotionally open, not because you train them, because they genuinely feel safe with you. And if you have started noticing some of your own cat's behaviors differently during this video, hit like and subscribe because there's an entire hidden world behind feline behavior most owners never get taught. And now, we genuinely want to know, what's the one tiny thing your cat does that instantly makes you feel chosen by them? Tell us in the comments. Thanks for watching. And if your cat is nearby right now, pay attention to where they decide to rest afterward, because cats usually settle closest to the people who make them feel safest. Meow.